we can just talk out here.
It's sunny.
Yeah.
We have sun in England today.
Yeah, so we couldn't bring ourselves to be inside.
Yeah.
It's so warm in there. And it's too bright.
It is. We even got sunglasses, but we're not using them. So.
Yeah, so we just thought we'd have a bit of casual conversation outdoors.
Yeah, we're going to do a chit chat today. And we are chit chatting about your first time watching Scream.
Yeah.
That's mental.
I know.
Yeah.
It was released the year I was born, so I've gone my entire life without seeing it.
Yeah.
96, the year of great films.
Yeah. Oh, you're just giving away your age now.
The birth of me.
Yeah.
It's a great year to be born.
I'm not sure what came out in my year of birth. Anyways.
You're like, I'm not getting into that. That's no one's business.
No one needs to know. But yeah, what's your first thoughts, impressions, vibes?
Oh, immediately I watched that first scene, and as it was happening, I knew then and there, I was like, this is going to be one of the greatest films I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong, I was kind of semi-aware of like the ending and stuff. But I wasn't aware of anything that really happened in it. Like, I've seen, the knockoffs, I've seen Scream Queens, I've seen Scary Movie.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really paint like the whole picture at all.
No, it's really a standout. I don't think there's anything like it.
No,
like,
I don't.
It's really
think
one on its own.
Like I would actually say like the closest to it is hands down Scary Movie. Like
yeah.
no one else takes the piss enough.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, it's mad. Because this was my millionth time watching it when we watched it together. Yeah. But so when you watch it and you know that it's meta horror and you just see them spell everything out for you, you're like, oh yeah. But watching you piece it together was amazing.
Yeah. Like I remember asking like halfway through it, I was like, oh, is this the one with the two? Like two killers. But I was so engrossed in the film afterwards, like I just completely forgot, and I was still just as shocked when two killers were revealed.
I think this is a spoiler review, by the way. If you haven't seen Scream, go watch Scream. But I think Stu as well is one that you really don't expect out of all of them.
Well, because the main reason I disregarded Stu, at the party, is when he was taking. Do you know when they? Is it Randy?
Yeah, the film buff.
The film buff was like explaining like, oh, don't never say like I'll be right back because like you're gonna die. Yeah. And obviously his girlfriend had just died, and he's like, oh, I'll be right back. And immediately I was like, that's it, right? He's gonna be murdered. Like this is it. It has been spelled out for me. Nah. Yeah. But then obviously you just don't hear from him again.
Yeah, it's quite a long time as well. Yeah, I didn't realise much, but I think after a while you went, "Oh God, where's Stu?" And I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, because obviously the next time you see him is the reveal.
Yeah.
You don't see him at all. And I did keep thinking, obviously, like there was the stabbing of Billy happened after, the horror boob scene.
Yeah, the horror boob. You should probably explain that a little more. If you could, after this point.
Yeah, we can backtrack. But obviously I was like, oh, maybe they're not showing Stu's death at the minute, because obviously this is like, the final girl, the main characters, and it seems like they're gonna die because Randy is downstairs. What film were they watching actually?
Halloween. Another one you haven't seen.
Actually, I've not seen it. Again, I understand the gist of it, but he was explaining about the horror boob. And how basically to get the rating up on a film, they just throw a bit of tit in. Yeah, it's just a classic horror boob. You see boobs for no reason. Like Blood and Honey was the perfect example of that.
I might try and put a clip in and censor it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go watch it if you want to see some boob. So Randy's downstairs explaining like what's going through Halloween and like how the classic horror boob situation was coming up, and upstairs, what's she called? Sydney and Billy are obviously like having sex for the first time, and he's like, rule number 1 is if you want to live, don't have sex. And then he was explaining how like obviously the boob like is shown on camera, and he was like, that's the classic horror boob. And obviously all this is going on upstairs, and I like how it's explaining that while showing it in a completely different scenario. So you don't actually see the horror boob in Scream, because the joke is it's being explained by Randy. But yeah, so then obviously Billy gets stabbed. And you're like, oh, God, it's not him.
Oh, it's not, he was the red herring.
And you're literally thinking, Stu's about to be killed.
Yeah.
So, but it's funny because the whole way through the film, I was like, I hate this man.
Yeah.
About Billy. I was like, I hate everything about him. And even like Randy goes as far as say he's the classic suspect.
Yeah. I like that scene where they're in the video store and Billy overhears him.
Yeah.
And they have that whole conversation, then he walks away and Randy turns around and goes, tell me that's not a killer. Like, oh, it's just genius.
Yeah.
It really spells it out for you. It's so good.
I'd say like the first time I watched it, there's so much happening in every single scene. Like they're explaining it to you, the plot's ongoing. There's little side things happening at all times, like constantly cutting to Gail, the news reporter.
Yeah, icon.
Yeah, there's just so much happening. Dewey, love Dewey.
Yeah.
Love him.
Sweetheart. Terrible at his job.
So everything was still a shock the first time I watched it, even if you had an idea of what was going to happen. So much so that when I was on my next night shift, I was like, I'm going to watch this again. So I was sat at work watching it just when I was having my dinner. And it was nice being able to rewatch it and pick up on them literally spelling it out for you. The whole way
genius.
through.
So good. Honestly, so good. I'm just so glad that Wes Craven made it.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
And you pointed out to me his little cameo.
Oh, his little Freddy, yeah.
I've seen him come on the screen again. I was like, oh, Wes. Hello.
Love him.
So cute.
Yeah. No, he's so good. I was so glad you had such a good reaction to it.
Yeah, it like immediately went into like my top 3 favorite films of all time.
Yeah.
So much so that I'm now going to force Kim to watch all of them.
That's what we're doing today. Yeah.
Maybe not all of them today. Oh, you know, we'll get a move on.
So my takeaway from watching it with you for the first time is because when I think of Scream, obviously it's meta horror, it's not serious, it's so funny, but it is also a slasher. And I never realised how bloody and gory it actually gets.
Yeah.
Like when I was watching you, I was like, oh bloody hell, this is a horror film. Like it is, like when they get in the end scene and there's people being stabbed and shot, tied up.
Yeah, the
like
news reporter, the cameraman falling from the roof of the car when Gail's trying to get away, and she does the wiper on the screen.
She's like, get off
She's
my
like,
car.
I can't see, and she like wipes it, and that's when she realizes there's like blood everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and Sydney's a mess at the end, and obviously Billy and Stu, iconically, very injured.
Scene.
Oh yeah, the Drew Barrymore one that got cut originally,
bloody. Very bloody.
Yeah.
But what a way to go in with a bang. Like, iconic. I love that.
Yeah, I think it might be my favourite opening scene of anything.
Yeah, it just set the tone for the film.
Yeah.
Like, it really did. Because when I was watching it, and I was like, oh, obviously you see it, and it's probably what everyone thought at the time. You're like, this is the final girl. Like, Drew Barrymore's Slay. And then she dies, like, 10 minutes later. And, like, for a minute, like, you sat there going, what? Well, how are they going to do this? And then, obviously, it just cuts straight to Sydney's face. And I'm like, oh, there she is.
Yeah, there's our final girl.
There she is.
I think she's probably one of the best final girls as well. What this movie has that a lot of horror movies don't is they fight back.
The fighting back's great.
Yeah,
what do you call her blonde friend? When he dies in the garage door?
Oh, it's a really strange name.
Stu's girlfriend, anyway.
Yeah.
Like, even, like, her in the garage, like, she was fighting back. And she fought back quite well. Like, her death was just unfortunate. Really unfortunate.
She did not deserve to die that way.
No, like, I thought she deserved way more.
Yeah.
But even Gail constantly fighting back. Everyone fought back. And that's what I loved about it being, I don't want to say realistic, 'cause it's not realistic. But realistic in that scenario in which if someone's chasing you with a knife, you're going to give it your absolute all. It is life or death.
Yeah.
No stupid stumbling and falling over. Even when Sydney escapes from the house at the party and she gets to the fence, she just rips the wood off the fence.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Yeah. Like,
there's no time to waste.
Yeah, it's just fab.
Loved it. You're going to HorrorCon tomorrow.
I am going to HorrorCon tomorrow.
Are you excited?
I am, yeah. I'm gonna try and get as many things.
I'm very jealous.
Yeah.
I'll be working.
And what I'm mainly looking forward to is this year they're having like a cinema room with indie short films in it.
Oh, that's
so
really
I'm
cool,
gonna
actually.
bring us some back, ones that I think are really good, so we can watch them and then review them here.
Well, as you know here, it doesn't have to be really good. It
Oh,
has to be really
no.
bad. Either one.
Yeah.
Oh, exciting stuff. I'll
Yeah,
make sure to
definitely.
get a couple of clips.
Oh, I will.
Insert here.
Yeah, this isn't going to be out until way after HorrorCon.
I don't
yeah,
think any of them will.
Yeah. We've only got a little bit of editing to do and they are ready to go. We just need to do everything else.
Yeah, we've been very good at this, like, sitting down and filming, and, well, we are very good at watching films. That's why we're here. We watch a lot, so we thought we may as well. What's our opinion to you guys?
Mm.
It's blinding. Let me put on my massive sunglasses. Look at this.
Aren't they fab? You'll never be able to get them though.
I have my eye bags. It's like when I smile and they're like halfway down my cheek.
These
Little
are too
chipmunk
big.
cheeks.
Yeah. Mm.
Alright.
Mm.
Peace out.
Bye-bye.